Welcome back to Coding Commanders. I'm Commander Tandy, and today I'm going to talk about something that anybody that wants to become a great programmer should listen to. If your goal is to be a great programmer, whether you're just starting out or you're advanced in your career, this is going to be a video you want to watch. Coding Commanders. And today I'm going to talk about some important issues that have mostly been ignored. And this video was inspired by Real Tough Candy. It was a video of hers, her content, as well as the comments on it, the issues people are bringing up, the questions people are asking. That's my motivation for doing this video, because there are a lot of issues with developer behavior I feel need to be discussed. It deserved good conversation, but I hope other people follow my lead on speaking out against the bad practices, kind of socially, even within the programming community. Everybody, I think you guys have seen those memes where like it's about how programmers, they either think that they're God or they have no idea what they're doing, right? If you're new to programming and you haven't seen those memes yet, the thing is, programming is problem solving. You spend most of your time confused, but when you solve the problem and it works, it's empowering, and it does give you like a godlike feeling, right? That's the opiate. That's the opiate in our addiction, right? If you're a developer, you know what I mean? This is what I think the explanation is behind the behavior. I think because of that, programmers, like, they feel the need to like validate themselves, because 90% of the time they're confused, right? So they feel a need to validate themselves that they do know what they're doing and they are smart and they are competent. And we kind of get this thing going on where it's kind of like, you know, like that girl with low self-esteem, and she sees a pretty girl walking down the street, and then she goes to her girlfriend, oh my God, I can't believe she wore those shoes. You know what I mean? Where she feels bad about herself, so she insults somebody else, and that's what she's doing to try to bring herself up. I think we got that going on with programmers, okay? Where you guys feel insecure when it doesn't work, right? I've had those breakdowns. Look, I'm with you. I'm with everybody. I have cried before because of code, okay? We have those breakdowns, but you need to find the inner strength inside of yourself and not put other people down, because the problem is, if you're not looking in the mirror and you're not comfortable enough with yourself to look in the mirror, you're not going to improve. You're not going to become great. And here's the problem. So you go around and you're insulting other people, right? Saying that, oh, you use PHP. Well, if you're smart, you'd use Python. PHP is terrible. But maybe that person using PHP has done things with their code that you never even dreamed of before, but once they say it, then you'll be able to fit that into your code, and then you would have become a better developer. But you were too busy telling them that they suck because they're using a different language. Instead of putting down the guy next to you, you can learn from him. That's what I do. I like to find out, when I talk to people, what they like, where their passion is, and then I ask them questions about their passion. Of the people around you, you shouldn't be trying to figure out what you can insult about the way they do things. You should be figuring out what you can learn from them. And you can learn from everybody, even if they use a different language, even if your skill level is higher than theirs. Different people's minds work different ways. If we let everybody's mind work the way that it works, in the end, technology will advance much quicker. Because we need original thought. We don't need cookie cutters. That's the thing about programming. And right now, these days, I know the majority of the jobs are business forms, and they're jobs where you're a cog in the wheel and you don't feel that creative outlet. But if you want to get those jobs where you can release your creative outlet, you're going to have to think outside the box. Let me tell you, I think outside the box, okay? And I have had recruiters approach me about jobs that I don't even think I'm qualified for. And I've told them that, and I've had like I had like a CEO contact me for a job, and I told him straight up, I don't know anything about this. And he's like, okay, when can you come in? I mean, I told him I could probably Google and figure it out, but I've never done anything like this before. And he still wanted me to come in. Why? Why do I get these recruiters? Why do I attract people to me? Why? And I'm not the only one. I'm not saying I'm special. I'm friends with developers who have done things beyond, what I've done with their original thinking. And they all agree with me. See, I hang out with the smarties, and me and the smarties, we get along. To be a great programmer, you have to learn out of the box thinking. My lesson template wasn't done, but my video was done, and I wanted to be able to post it. Like at the time I told people I was going to post it. So my template wasn't done yet. So I just echoed out a bunch of stuff and copied, like viewed source, copied the code, pasted it, boom. But at the end of the day, what it produced was the same thing that my page builder would have produced if it was done, meets the feature requirements, is done on time, and is to appropriate quality. It doesn't matter how you produced it. I took a picture of the code and I posted it on my social media, and it was supposed to be like a joke. Like, I'm so tired, frack it. I just echoed the page out, and my template wasn't done, whatever. I explained the situation, and then people, though, they were bashing me, saying that's terrible. You're teaching code and you wrote that. That's what you're teaching? No, if you read my post, it's not what I was teaching. This was the code that generated the code for the lesson I was teaching. And yes, I would teach you to do that. I'm not going to teach you to just echo out a bunch of stuff and that's how it's done, but you can think outside the box. When somebody says you don't echo stuff out, you need to think about it. The PHP that echoed it out is local. It doesn't matter. And if you're just learning programming and you don't understand what I'm saying, that's fine. But at my job, I had to post a page by a certain time, a certain day, and say I had trouble writing one of the functions, whatever, I was behind schedule. Say this was an established tutorial website that promises their subscribers a new video every Tuesday and every Friday. It's a big deal if I don't post it in time. If I had an issue with my template or whatever where I wasn't able to complete that in time, nobody's going to care as long as the page is posted on time. If I didn't think outside the box and I posted the video in the lesson late because I wanted to get my template done first, well, that's just silly. I mean, it just doesn't make any logical sense. I had a lot of the main functions for the content done, so a lot of it was I was just echoing out like a function, and some of it was just plain echoing out a div or something like that, because I didn't have the full thing made. But the final product was the same as if I did have the full thing made. It's quicker and easier for me to make a lesson if the template's made, because then all I have to do is, if the page builder's made, because then all I have to do is, do the variables, and it's going to format everything, and I don't have to mess with any HTML, any divs, nothing like that. It's going to be easier and more efficient for me to do it. Just echoing different things out every time isn't the best way. But under the circumstances, that was the way for me to get it done. That's what I'm talking about. If somebody says, don't do this, don't do that, you need to look at the whys, because there might be a situation where that is right to do. You don't just look at your professor telling you, don't do this, look at why. Don't do this because of this and that. That's going to allow you to think out of the box, because people that do that, those are the ones that become great programmers, and those are the ones that get the jobs with the smart people. Frameworks. Everybody's framework crazy, okay? It's all about what framework. Now, I've made apps with frameworks before. I personally prefer vanilla. I do use jQuery. Other than that, I do my own CSS. I don't use Bootstrap. I don't really use libraries. And I'm not saying it's bad to use libraries. I'm not saying it's bad to use frameworks. What I'm saying is, I'm going to give you an example. a developer friend from Instagram, and if you're watching this, I don't think you watch my videos, but if you are, no hard feelings. I'm sorry that I'm using you as an example. But my website where he told me that I should throw away everything, and at that point I'd been working like 3 months on, you know, developing lessons, developing my, you see, I was writing lessons as I was changing the template, because I would look at it and then I'd see I want this. I would think of like a new script, a new feature that I wanted. So I was writing lessons as developing it. That's why what's up right now is a rough draft. It's a little messy. It takes a lot of time. I don't have a team. I'm one person. So it takes a lot of time. But as I do the videos, I'm going back through and cleaning things up with my newest template, which will eventually change too. But when it took me months to develop the template that I have now in the features, and there's a rhyme and reason to everything. He told me I should throw that all away and rebuild it in PHP Cake. Now, I've never personally used PHP Cake, but I do go to meetups, and I saw a presentation on it. And in the presentation, actually, the presenter would not have recommended it for what I'm doing. And you're doing these business applications, it might be a quick way to generate like your login screens that seem big with it, and just general like like template code, you know, and then you customize it once it comes out to suit your needs. Otherwise, it's, you know, but I don't even have a login screen on mine. I don't have the same pages that like a business app would have. I have lesson templates. That's not going to give me a lesson template that I'd start off and then I'd have to erase all the stuff they did that I didn't need and then just add in the stuff I already did. That's supposed to be a shortcut to get to the finish, but I'm already way past there. But it's that in the box thinking that's the problem. He told me you have to use a framework. He told me I can't make my website without a framework. And to any developer who says that you need to use a framework to write a good application, you need to use a framework to write a good application. Not everybody does. And there are good programmers that do think that way, and their mind has already been trained because they've been using the frameworks. And some people just, that's the way they see it. And that's okay as long as you are still analyzing the problem and not saying a framework or one specific framework is always the best way, because then you're never going to provide the best solution. You need to go from point A to point B. The thing is there's certain customization things that a certain client might want that might be difficult in a framework. It might even be impossible without changing the source code. And by the time you get through all the work to make that framework work for what you're doing, it would be quicker if you just wrote it in vanilla. Or, you know, framework-y, maybe there was a different framework that would have been able to do the thing that you were trying to do. But if you say, if you write a website and you don't use React, then you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing, because there's no one size fits all. If that was true, good programmers wouldn't make so much money. And the same people that do that, they're disgruntled with their job because they've been a cog in the wheel their whole life. Stop being a cog. You can do better. Even if your job you get, because they pay well, it pays good to be a cog in the wheel. But you can still on the side play around with stuff, have fun, learn more, grow, become a great programmer. And that's the type of things that recruiters notice too. Recruiters for companies where they don't want you to be a cog in the wheel, they're looking for smart, out-of-the-box thinkers. If you ever say to anybody in every case, this is what you need to do, you're not thinking right and you are not going to become a great programmer. No great programmer that I've ever met has ever said that there's a one-size-fits-all thing. A lot of times, even when they say something that's like, almost always they feel a need to like back it up, because the more you know what you don't know, and you don't rule things out. You got to look at things wide. It's like, this is an analogy that I like to use. There's one paved road and then two dirt roads. Most people are going to take the paved road to where they're going. There are going to be a few people that want to venture onto those dirt roads. A little will go here, a little will go there. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to climb a tree. I'm going to find a straight line from point A to point B. I'm going to climb up the tree, and then maybe I'll swing on a vine, and I'm going to have fun playing and crawling and climbing. I'm going to work hard, right? I'm working hard but I'm having fun doing it, and I'm going to get to the other side before any of y'all. That's how I like to describe my way of thinking. And maybe sometimes I won't, right? I mean, nothing's for sure in life. I can't always say that I'm going to get there faster. Maybe if there was a different way, maybe it was still off the road, but I still probably didn't take the absolute best course ever possible, but that's okay. Just keep your mind open. Look, because the best option for you might not be the thing that everybody else is doing. My favorite line is, if you do what everybody else does, the best you can ever hope to be is average. Well, thank you again for joining me. This was my first vlog. If you liked it, comment, let me know. Let me know your thoughts on what I had to say. I know I might have made some people mad, but please don't be mad. I'm open to debate. Be respectful though. If you're any type of programmer and you're smart and you're a free thinker, also feel free to contact me. All my social media is in the description box. I would love to have you on my show if there's any topic you'd like to talk about. You don't have to be a YouTuber. You don't have to, be active on social media. I'm looking for people that are smart, that are good thinkers, that can help benefit my coding cadets. Thank you again for watching, and until next time, happy coding!